Well, hey now, everybody. It's the Rob from 106.1 KISS FM here with my tag team partner in podcasting. Please welcome to the show the amazing, rambling Jerry Valeri. Good morning, Jer.
Good morning, Rob. For the third podcast in a row, you had to yell at me this time before the podcast for singing. No singing.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you start singing, our video is going to get kicked off.
I can't stop singing Beauty and the Beast songs because that movie was so good and the songs are so great.
I can't shut up about this movie. I want to talk to anyone who has seen it about how good it is.
It was perfectly done. It really was.
It just couldn't have been much better. The thing I keep saying about it is, for some reason, the thing that stuck with me most is the Be Our Guest sequence, and I can only describe it as the most beautiful thing I've seen on film.
It's epic.
It's saying something because this was after I saw the Paige sex tape.
Do you know how hard it is for us to talk about Be Our Guest without me singing?
Right.
No.
All right, so thank you, because I'm not just like trying to be a Grinch. I'm just saying, like, we want to keep being able to do these. You know, we can't be getting the videos kicked off with the licensing.
Legal stuff, and the Paige tape. I watched it in its entirety from what was leaked, and holy cow, the NXT Women's Championship, huh?
Dude, I have to be honest with you. So we had an explosive post show on Tuesday.
Pun intended.
Discussing the Paige sex tape, and I am nothing short of shocked at how cool some of our viewers are. Namely, Eric, former host of the show, and Mike Virgin, also a one-time host of this show, are with doing what happened to the women's title. I'm surprised.
I was like, they're like, nothing really wrong happened, nothing really bad, nothing illegal, and it's it's healthy, and I'm just like, I get it. Sex is a healthy act.
I'm with you. I'm on board there. I'm with you there.
But if I do it in the Froggy studio, my bosses are going to be mad about that.
And then imagine if you did an act right onto like the microphone.
Right.
This
is a championship belt that it's not like she gets to keep this one forever. If someone beats her, they get a different belt. This belt gets passed around and around and around and around and around and around. It's part of that promotion's history.
That might not be 100% true. I don't know what their policy is on that. A lot of times they do make a different belt for every champion.
Do they?
That doesn't even matter, though. Like, the defense that they're using, though, is like, oh, well, Mancow and Bubba the Love Sponge have done worse to their microphones. And I'm just like, are you guys being serious? Like, and you guys are the guys who respect the lineage typically. Like, I know Mike, I know Eric, like they're legit wrestling fans, and they respect the history of the title belts and stuff like that, and you're totally cool with Brad Maddox's seed all over it?
Yeah, I feel like I've turned into a prude over this because everyone's kind of there are a couple people that I know that we got into a debate over whether or not she was going to get punished for this, and I was like, she's definitely going to feel repercussions.
Yeah,
and then I have a friend that soon as it came out, and I think you had this happen too. Soon as it came out that the WWE is not going to fire her, Meltzer reported that. Then they were just like, well, I told you that they're not going to do anything about it.
That did happen with Gavin here. We were talking about this at the radio station. And
firing her is not the only repercussion.
There are so many different ways to punish somebody outside of firing them. You guys know this, right?
For me, I think firing her would be the dumbest thing they could do, because then they could face potential legal action.
Absolutely.
And it looks really bad. All they really need to do is keep her off TV for as long as they feel like. Eat her salary, and then in 18 months, you get rid of her before a No Mercy pay-per-view when no one's paying attention, and you're done.
You're taking the words right out of my mouth. And yeah, you're saving yourself money in the long run from the lawsuit. And like, here's my other thing, like, wait till you see how her career does after this. Like, wait till you see I'll take the over under on how many women's title runs she has after this. I'm setting it at 0.5.
I'm giving her better odds of being in porn someday than ever winning a championship for that company ever again.
What does she have to lose going into porn at this point? Like, you know, when some people make that jump, it's exciting because we haven't seen them before. With Paige, we've seen everything.
There's nothing left of the imagination.
Right. So yeah, that's what I feel about that. You know, so just sheer craziness.
And part of me thinks that they don't want to fire her because if they punish her, if they draw a line in the sand and say, this is how we're going to punish you for this, then they have to punish 1/3 of their most popular act, the New Day, and they don't want to do that.
Well, but I also want to address another debate that was going on, and I know that it's kind of boring when the hosts of the show agree, rather, but I'm with you on this, and to be honest with you, I'm not saying that she did anything morally wrong, but she made some bad decisions here. And I understand that she is the victim, that she had something stolen from her. She had, you know, this thing happen that was bad and she was a victim. I admit that. But to be honest with you, she had a level of fame, and these tapes, if you're smart, should not have existed. I have an extremely low level of recognition in one city. Okay. And even I will not emit pictures or record myself doing things like that because I don't want it getting out.
You know how torpedoed we'd be in our cities if that happened, and we're not famous at all.
Exactly. Yeah. Some of us think that we're really famous. I'm not one of those guys, believe me, but I don't want a stupid topic message thread about me or pictures going around. So my rule is, and even with my current girlfriend who I've had for 4 years, I'm sorry, I'm not ever taking pictures of me in states of undress. There's no embarrassing photos. The way I'm curbing this is by ensuring that they don't exist. And I'm not even sure I'd get fired if something like that went out. I'm just trying to not be stupid, you know?
Yeah, and it doesn't matter how it comes out. Consequences are consequences, and you have to deal with your consequences regardless of how people come about them. So for, you know, the whole she's a victim and we should feel bad for her. I feel badly that it came out and she didn't want it to come out. But, you know, at the same time, there's one surefire way to not have it out. And you said it, don't take the pictures.
And it's not like only that,
it's like my dad used to tell me. He said the easiest way to quit smoking is to not start smoking.
Absolutely. And not only that, like, you can tell she's not being very careful with the footage because some of these shots are multiple cameras going on, you know, like, so there's already doubles of what's going on immediately as it's happening, you know, and it's just, you had such a high likelihood of this happening. She should have known better. I'm not saying she morally did anything reprehensible. I'm just saying, let's be real. She made bad decisions. Made a dumb decision. And I'm wondering who leaked it. Do you think it was Maddox? No. That's not the first thing that came to mind. I bet you something was stolen the old-fashioned way, whether it be a cloud hack, a literal stealing of a laptop or a cell phone. There's just so many ways to access things. Brad Maddox was not my first thought.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, you know, you have all these other divas that are showing up naked on this website, and
yeah, right,
Emma Watson and Rose McGowan and Amanda Seyfried, and like, so it's happening to quite a few people.
Yeah, so that's just what I want to say about that. We don't have to, you know, address it on the post show if you guys don't want to, or we can. I'm not disagreeing with you that she did nothing morally wrong. If consenting adults want to film their intimate acts, more power to you, I guess. But don't be shocked when it gets out, and people are going to say you did something stupid. And
yeah,
Jerry and I are two of those people.
And what she did to the belt, I think, is reprehensible.
Yeah,
I do.
That's fireable. Like, I used the joke last time, but it makes what Alundra Blaze did to the women's title look extremely tame.
And now that I've seen the act we're talking about, I agree.
Yeah. So, I mean, and, you know, tossing it in the garbage, you know, people equate it to burning the flag or whatever. And, you know, non-wrestling fans won't understand that, but wrestling fans probably do. And yeah, I think that's a really bad decision. And that in and of itself might be fireable. I don't know, you know. So there's that. And we can move on to SmackDown if you want to.
Yeah, let's move on to SmackDown.
And by the way, this is the topic of the year so far in the world of wrestling. There's been no bigger story than this Paige thing. Holy cow.
I know it. And it's probably, when we do the year-end awards, it's probably going to be brought up again.
How can this not be news story of the year? I mean, something major would have to happen.
Unless Hulk Hogan shoots somebody in the face, this is news story of the year.
Right. I had, you know what? I'm glad I didn't say the joke that just came to my mind. So
I had the same joke. I had the same joke about Paige.
Oh no, mine was that was a different joke.
I was shot in the face.
I was gonna go with a it's gonna go with I don't even want to say it, but he who should not be mentioned on WWE TV. I had a joke about him.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Okay.
You know, so anyway, let's go ahead and talk about SmackDown, because SmackDown was live on Tuesday, and the first thing that jumped out at me, I don't know if you had an immediate reaction to this, but I certainly did. I was hearing rumors last week that they were being less than honest with Morrow and his travel problems. Mm-hmm. It seemed believable because Pittsburgh did have blizzard-like conditions, so I kind of swept it under the rug. Now we're 2 episodes in without Morrow. This one, I believe, was in Vegas. Am I wrong? Was it Vegas this week?
Well, yeah, and here's what I'll say about Pittsburgh quickly. I have my brother-in-law lives in Pittsburgh, and he sent me a picture of Pittsburgh snowstorm. Now, here in central Pennsylvania, 3 hours away, we got 15 inches that day, and West Virginia got hammered, and there were parts around Pittsburgh that did get super snowed. So getting to Pittsburgh would be difficult. But Pittsburgh didn't get any snow. Pittsburgh got a little bit. They didn't get as much as everyone else did.
Well,
so if he had trouble getting from somewhere else because of it, then fine. But I thought it was fishy immediately.
But okay, so I wasn't even aware of that. So thank you for filling us in on that. And because Jerry is emanating live from State College, Pennsylvania, as he does every week. I like I said, I kind of disregarded it because of how much snow you and my family got. But okay, there's that. He was also the only guy who couldn't make it. I'm not saying that's possible. Like I said, I don't know where he was coming in from, but everyone seemed to make it except for Morrow. So something seemed fishy. And now we're in Vegas, and Morrow's not here. And I don't know the story, and I'm not seeing it anywhere.
Hasn't he been outspoken before? I read a little bit today about his bipolar disorder. Do you think that could have anything to do with it?
This is the first I've heard about this. I didn't even know he had it.
He's done things for bipolar charities and things like that before. So he has mentioned that before in his life, that he suffers from bipolar. So I don't know,
Yeah.
Without short of speculating, I don't know what's going on, but it does seem fishy.
Well, I'm just surprised that I checked the news sites that I usually check last night just to be up on everything for today's episode, and I'm just shocked that I didn't see anything about it.
Yeah, it's all about Paige and unfortunately JR's wife, which is a terrible story.
Oh, so sad. And thank you for bringing that up. Jan Ross, I think, passed away earlier this morning or later last night, and Jim Ross, man, I don't know them personally, but Jim Ross, I can't explain it except for he was the voice of my childhood.
He was amazing.
Him and Howard Stern. And, just knowing that he's upset, knowing that his wife passed, and I heard they were a very happy couple, and I heard wonderful things about her. So our condolences to good old JR and his family for sure.
Absolutely. It's going to be a hard time.
Yeah, so thanks for bringing that up. I just wanted to mention that real quick. And JR, I'm so sorry to hear that. It was legit. I don't even know why, but I was legit bummed when I saw that this morning. So yeah, thanks for mentioning that, Jer.
That one hit me harder than I thought too.
Yeah, and it was kind of like I don't want to call it a freak accident, but it just seemed like it was out of left field.
Well, I mean, it had nothing to do with her health, and it was just a car accident, and she was on a scooter. Yeah,
that just stinks, man. I'm really sorry to hear that. Anyway, were we still talking about Morrow, or do we move forward?
We were done with Morrow. I think we were just saying we don't know what's going on. We can't wait to see what's going on with him and SmackDown Live.
So hopefully that gets addressed at some point, and hope Morrow's okay too. I think Morrow does a really good job. I think that with the proper handling, Morrow could potentially be, your son Evans. What's Evan, 5 or 6?
6.
He could be Evans Jr. if handled properly, the voice of Evans' childhood, so to speak. You know, so I hope that everything's cool with Morrow. I have, to be honest with you, I didn't have SmackDown had its highs and lows. I do feel like they're kind of coasting into WrestleMania, not doing a whole lot to grab me. There are still people doing good work. I'm going to shout them out throughout the podcast. But I would say my reaction to SmackDown was lukewarm at best.
Tepid.
What was that?
Tepid is the word I'd use, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't great. Although I would say I'd probably give this week, I would say SmackDown probably had the better show, if for no other reason than it was shorter. But while Raw had the amazing Jericho segment, I feel like
marking out, man.
I feel like SmackDown had the Total Bellas segment, which
I love.
Yeah, that was every bit as good as Jericho's segment on Raw. And I thought it was such a great idea, a unique idea in a unique position. It's not really been a time in history where you could parody someone else's TV show like this that wrestlers are on, but they were able to do it. Calling it like bonus footage or unseen footage from Total Bellas was a really good idea. While at some points it got hokey, and it wasn't as good an execution as it was in concept, it still, I give it 2 thumbs up. I thought it was a great idea.
I thought it was great. It was nice. It felt very Attitude Era-ish.
Yeah.
This whole angle does. I think Miz is knocking it out of the park.
Miz is the MVP of WrestleMania. Honestly, he's saving SmackDown's ship.
Unfortunately, I think that this angle won't continue past WrestleMania because I think Cena's got things to do or whatever. And I'd like to see Miz go over, but I don't know if he will.
Yeah, that's something to think about. You know, I don't know what they're gonna do with that. I'm really gonna save my thoughts as to outcomes for the predictions episode, which will be. Oh, I guess it'll be a week from today, won't it?
Yeah, it will be.
I'm wondering, depending on what next week brings and how much content Raw and SmackDown bring, I'm wondering if WrestleMania predictions should get its own episode.
I would like that. I think it absolutely should, because there are going to be a lot of matches. And I feel like, just looking at how the card is right now, every match that I'm excited for, with the exception of one, is a SmackDown match. And the Raw matches, I'm sorry, I'm not interested in Goldberg Lesnar. I mean, I am, but I'm not. I don't care about it. I feel nothing. I feel nothing for Roman Reigns and Undertaker. Jericho Owens is the only match on Raw right now that I give a crap about.
I might even go as far as to say that that's the only match on the show that I care about. To be honest, that match has the potential to be very good. I don't feel that way about Miz and Cena for whatever reason. It's more of a storyline thing. And let's not forget, it's not a Miz Cena match. It's a mixed tag.
It's a mixed tag. Well, and I'm not even talking about that match. I'm very interested in seeing. I think Dean Ambrose and Baron Corbin will be a good match. I think that will be fun to watch. I think AJ Styles and Shane McMahon will be a good match. Even though we don't like how it got there, I like what they're doing right now. And you may differ in opinion from me, but I feel like they are making Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton. I feel like it deserves to be the main event. It's going to be the main event. Everyone keeps saying main event when they talk about those two and the Royal Rumble win. I love what they're doing with that right now, and they're making me want to see them fight, and they're making me want to see Bray Wyatt come to the ring. And you don't get a chance to see Bray Wyatt really since the house burnt down or whatever. I like what SmackDown's doing. They're building to WrestleMania much better than Raw is.
I don't know if I agree with you or not. I definitely don't agree with the word much. But your premise may be right. Raw's bringing it too. I mean, especially depending on what you're into. They've got Undertaker and Roman, which people will care about. They've got Goldberg and Lesnar, which is a big deal. And then the match I'm clearly most excited for is Jericho and Owens. So, yeah, I would say it's pretty 50-50 for me, to be real honest with you. Are there people at my door? Well, let me look for a second.
Take a look.
I don't know.
I see someone. I do see someone standing in front of your door.
Yeah, I don't. But listen, it's still my studio time till 10. So
you want to let them in and just and see what goes down.
I don't know who they are. So let's just for the time being, I'd like to just chill and forget they're there.
All right.
So sorry for the distraction, but I was.
No, that's good. We're doing just fine. For me, maybe it's just me. Like the Undertaker thing makes me sad because he doesn't look good. He's not going to perform well, and he's going to be in a match with Roman Reigns. I don't know. The only thing that'll save it for me is if they put Braun Strowman in. If you told me 6 months ago I was going to care this much about Braun Strowman, I'd have laughed in your
right.
face.
All right, let me go back to SmackDown if I could, please. I have a thought, obviously a negative thought to get things started after the Morrow thing. Jesus Christ, the first match on SmackDown, the very first match on SmackDown was the very last match from last week's SmackDown. It was the same effing match. Like, if people aren't, how am I the only one talking about this?
But this time it was for the title. This was the title match.
And what an unimpactful title change. I didn't even realize I had seen a title change until yesterday. Until I read I saw the news sites and I'm like, new SmackDown champions. I was like, oh, I didn't even realize that was a title match. Their tag team situation is in shambles, if you ask me, especially because they did establish it well at one point. It's a mess right now. And GD you MFers started with the same match you closed with last time? Come on. Can we at least have one match to separate it? That means if you watch SmackDown in timeline order, if you just watch SmackDown and you binge watch it on Netflix, so to speak, that means you're going to finish an Usos American Alpha match and you're going to pick right up with a American Alpha Usos match. Come on. Come on. I'm being serious, man.
I feel like they're just trying to make you crazy at this point.
Mission accomplished. You nailed it.
Man, that doesn't bother me nearly as much as like all the crowbarring of every woman in the segment for WrestleMania.
Don't even get me started on this, man. This is driving me nuts too.
Both shows are doing it. Both shows are doing this like, all the women, throw them in the ring, see what happens.
I know, man. It's driving me crazy. It's just sloppy. It's lazy writing. It's unorganized.
I know they want to have everybody on the show, but I think a one-on-one for the women's championship makes it more special.
Dude, exactly. Like if you just get one solid feud that we believe in and we care about, you could have two women's matches that we care about instead of two women's matches we don't care about.
That'd be like making the Pro Bowl the Super Bowl we want to get all the players from all the teams in the Super Bowl.
Well, you know what? To be honest with you, Jer, this extends past just the women. They have this. They try to crowbar everyone in to WrestleMania, and I get that it's a big deal for guys to be on WrestleMania, and I get that, and I know that it's the Battle Royal and stuff like that. But like honestly, WrestleMania isn't for 100% of the roster.
Yeah, and aren't you glad they're at least not having like a 7-man ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship this time?
I actually kind of, I don't know. I like that a little bit. They usually wind up being good, if nothing else.
The ladder matches are always fun, but it's the same concept, though. It's like, let's just get everybody on one match.
Yeah, it's annoying and it's lazy, so I don't like that. I had everything that I have note-wise for the rest of this podcast has to do with the main event segment.
Okay.
And it's all negative. So do you have anything before AJ and Shane?
I'd like to ask your opinion of Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton quickly.
It's getting dizzying for me in that I'm not keeping up with it. It all seems very cool. I don't even know. I was watching the show and I was paying attention to the show. I don't even know how Randy got into that situation this week.
He was getting interviewed by Renee.
Yeah,
backstage.
But how do we get from A to B? Like he was talking to Renee, and then all of a sudden he's like up against a wall.
The lights flickered, and then the lights went out.
Right. It's just dizzying. I don't know. This could be better, right? It's good, but could be better.
It could be better. I don't think Randy Orton's acting is very strong. So that but I'm digging it. And when they finally fight, I think it's pretty cool. And I like that they're keeping Bray Wyatt out of the ring.
That too.
I bet he has a different entrance. I hope he has a cool entrance.
Well, he should be by himself this time, theoretically. When's the last time he's been solo? you know?
Right, or he'll come out with like 200 dudes in sheep masks. Like those will be his druids.
Yeah, who knows? So
all right, move on to the final segment. Go for it.
So something that took me out of this segment, even before it got started, excuse me, was AJ is waiting for Shane to show up in the garage all through SmackDown. Okay, I'm with you there. Here's my question. From a believability standpoint, why would, and I know it didn't happen this way, but if you're AJ Styles, or why would the GM of the show or the owner of the show or whatever his official on-screen title is, show up 20 minutes before the show ends? Honestly, if you're in charge of the show, if you're going to be there, you're going to be there when it starts, or you're not going to be there.
You're going to be there. You're going to be there like 3 hours before. Yeah,
you're not going to show up 15 minutes before it ends. So that had an initial problem with that. Just philosophically,
right.
Disagreed. So 2 more things, and let me get them both out before you comment, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
Don't know if you caught them. The punches that Shane threw at AJ in the ring were deplorable. They were laughable. They didn't even make contact, and poor AJ is forced to sell this garbage. And it really made me resentful, even more so than I was before. And then, if you want to talk about things that have really jumped the shark for me, or just as far as resentment goes, I am now anti this stupid elbow drop. I just hate it. I hated it last time he did it on the Raw. It was like last February heading into WrestleMania, after he returned, but at least then it was refreshing. I just think this is so stupid. I don't like when these things happen and they're forced. And it just, if I had to describe this stupid move in one word, I know it's phenomenal and it's breathtaking. People love seeing it. I'm at the point where I face palm when he gets AJ on the table. And AJ wasn't even really in a position that he should have been selling a move that hard that he can't move from the elbow drop, dude.
That he can't get up and walk away from the table.
Absolutely. It was lazy. It was forced. It was unnatural. I hated it. I know a lot of people watching are going to disagree. I know that it's a breathtaking move, and that's what it's designed for. And I know that I will probably be in the minority here, but I got to be honest with you. That's the way I feel. Go ahead.
I'll agree with you for 90% of it. I mean, the move itself is awesome. Like when he jumps and lands the elbow, that moment, that's a cool thing to see. It is cool, but it shouldn't, for him, it's part of his move set. That's what I don't like. It's like Shane McMahon has punches and a couple takedowns and then an elbow drop from the turnbuckle to the table. Like that, I have a problem. I have a problem with that.
I have a problem saying punches are in his move set.
Well, but they are. You know, these dumb
they
punches
all miss.
They're in his moveset.
Watch the end of SmackDown.
He has respect to the guys because he takes big bumps, and he's always been cool backstage. And I'm sure from a locker room perspective, he gets a ton of support. Aside from the fact that his last name is McMahon, I think he gets a lot of support. And
he deserves that. That I'm cool with.
But I agree with you. It's forced. This isn't doing AJ Styles any favors. AJ Styles, if anything, he's doing all the favors for Shane here, and I don't know. I wish more for AJ, but at least the match is going to be memorable.
Hey, let me shout out one more thing positive, not from SmackDown, but do you watch that Bring It to the Table show?
No.
It's awesome, and I have to be honest with you. They had Corey Graves on. It's hosted by Peter Rosenberg.
I did. Well, I watched that one time. Him and JBL were talking to that guy, right?
Yeah, there's been 2 episodes, and the second one was like a week or 2 ago, so I know I'm late on this.
All right, I watched the first one.
What's that?
I saw the first one.
Okay, the second one is great. First of all, it has an exclusive with Kurt Angle, which I wish I could say was great, but wasn't. But they let the guys be honest. And oh my gosh, Peter Rosenberg asked them what they think about AJ and Shane, and Corey Graves was like 0 interest. Don't care about this at all. And he was being as harsh as we are about this on the WWE network. I was so impressed.
So they're just being honest about stuff.
Yeah, I loved seeing that. It was so refreshing. And even like, have you heard about the Montreal Screwjob porno?
No.
There's some legit porno, like real porno company that's making a porn parody of the Screwjob. And they brought that up. I was aware of this. I'd seen the one tweet shared on wrestling sites. It was starring the two girls that are dressed up like Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. I could not believe they went there. Could not believe it.
That's great. Maybe I'll have to check it out. It's not just WWE force-fed news. It's real news.
I was really impressed. Tell me, you give it a watch if you can. It's not even a half an hour. It's like, I think it's like maybe 30 minutes tops.
I will. I know we're running out of time, but I will say, with all the talking about how we're not that interested in WrestleMania yet, the one thing I'll give them credit for is I love this Hall of Fame class. We haven't talked about that much at all.
Two thumbs up, man. Agree completely.
I love it. Rick Rude, you know how I feel about that guy. Love
Kurt
that.
Angle, my second favorite wrestler ever. DDP.
Angle, DDP, Rick Rude, Rock and Roll Express. I'm happy with all of it.
Yeah, that's a home run.
Teddy
for
Long,
sure.
I don't care about, but whatever.
You and me both, but yeah, exactly. It's whatever. Same with Beth Phoenix. There's probably better choices out there, but still worthy in my opinion. Got to wrap it up, man. I'm sorry because we're running out of time, and I don't even know if there's people outside my studio door or not. But thank you for your time this morning. Let's try to plan on maybe 3 episodes next week. We'll work out a schedule. For myself, the Rob, and my tag team partner, Ramblin' Jerry Valeri, thank you so much. We'll be back on Tuesday, recapping Raw with Post to Post. Thanks for watching.
And happy birthday to Post to Post viewer Tony. Happy birthday, Tony.
Yeah, happy birthday, Tony. You're absolutely right. Thanks for watching, Tony. We'll be back again on Tuesday.